Stockholm Syndrome was a cast member in this show. I was like, boy, don't you bite that baby. If that baby was so fat and fluffy, I could see how, like, you know, if I'm a vampire, I'm like, this baby juicy. Probably like a little crackling or something, like a little boudin or something. You just pop it in your mouth and just let that be that on that. But it's a baby. You know what I mean? You can't do that to the baby. Because the way that they drink blood from people in this show, it look appealing as a motherfucker. I'm like, how? Like, I ain't never drank nothing that look like it tastes as good as they look like what they tasting on this show. I'm like, goddamn, made me uncomfortable. Not really though, because I really wasn't. I was like, okay. Jacob Anderson's New Orleans accent is the best New Orleans accent I've heard from somebody who's like trying to duplicate. Now he did, it was a little shaky in the beginning, but by the end of the thing, I was like, what high school you went to? You from the night one? Who your mama? Who your people? I don't know how you test for chemistry when you have an actor. Like when you have two actors, do you like make them make out with each other? And then if it look weird on the screen, it's like, nah, y'all got bad chemistry. Like, how do you test that? Is that the way to do it? Because I would love to be a chemistry tester for people. I'm a creep, bro. Lestat is like, boy, listen, you my star. I love you so much. Like, you are the most special thing I ever seen. When I laid eyes on you, did I say, oh my? Lestat was running it, baby. And Louis was like, damn, for real? I mean, listen, what I got to lose? And Louis was like, go ahead, take it, bro. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for checking out this video. It's your girl, LB. Welcome to my channel, Watch With Me, LB, where I give you fun, fresh, and funny ranch... I don't know why I did that. Where I give you fun, fresh, and funny ranch reviews and recaps on my favorite movies and TV shows. This show was good. Talking about Interview with the Vampire. Yeah, my cousins told me. They say, Elle, girl, have you seen Interview with the Vampire? I say no, because I can't get another subscription service. I got 42 subscription services and I can't do another one. One night I had insomnia and I was looking for something to watch and I wanted something juicy and I wanted something like moody. So my good cousins told me to go and see Interview with the Vampire. And when I tell you, I blew through these episodes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, like all of them. Like quick, fast, and in a hurry. But baby, we got some stuff to talk about, baby. This is a grown show. This is a grown people show. And as a matter of fact, to celebrate, okay, I got me a grown people drink. All right, I done made myself a Sazerac to celebrate because this thing is based out of New Orleans, baby. I got my Sazerac house, can you see? I got my Sazerac house glass. Okay, Jacob Anderson. Call me. Give me a ring-a-ding-ding, Jacob. Just give me a ring-a-ding-ding. I'll answer. First ring. First one. Boop. I'm answering. Now, I know we remember Interview with a Vampire, the movie from back in the day with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and Kirsten Dunst. And the one thing I remember, like I saw the movie, but it's not one of my, like I'm not going back and be like, ooh, girl, I can't wait to watch Interview with a Vampire tonight when I get off work. It's not one of those. But what I do remember from the movie was that Claudia kissed Brad Pitt and she said his lips was ashy. The shade of it all, baby. That thing was on the Inquirer, People Magazine, US News, all the magazines had the fact that Brad Pitt had ashy lips because baby, Brad Pitt was just, you couldn't do no better at the time. Okay, he was just cream of the crop to some people. So for him to have ashy lips, according to a little girl, and that was very controversial because she was like 8, like she was like a little girl, and Brad Pitt was Brad Pitt, honey, and they had to kiss on the lips. I remember that distinctly. We're gonna switch up the vibe for this TV show. Okay, we getting a whole new iteration on Louis and Lestat and Claudia. This one is very close to home for you, girl, because we in New Orleans, honey, obviously, okay? And whenever something is made in New Orleans, I'm like super critical. I'm looking all around for something to see about something. But I will tell you this though. The set design for this show, chef's kiss. It was so good. Like it looks authentically authentic, baby. Some of those places were real and I really couldn't differentiate when they were actually on location and when they were actually like on the back lot, child. I know I can recognize some stuff because some stuff they was in the 7th Ward and some stuff they was in Treme. I get that part, but baby, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell sometimes, and that's always good to me because that was, I'm about to say that's my stomping grounds. I don't be stomping around in Treme. We have a really, really great cast in this go round, baby. We have Jacob Anderson, okay, as Louis Dupont Dulac. And we have Sam Reed, also a snack, as Lestat de Leoncourt, Bailey Bass as Claudia. We have Eric Bogosian. If you need somebody hard scrabble, baby, get Eric Bogosian. Go get him. We have Asad Zaman as Armand. Okay, so we have a really great cast of folks hitting the streets of New Orleans in the early 1900s. It's about to be a problem. Okay, buckle up, New Orleans. All right, everybody get your shit together because it's going down. So the show opens up and we are in 2022. We are smack dab still in the middle of the Fantasia, and we are with Daniel Malloy, hard scrabble journalist who has had a little fall from grace, okay, getting a little old, having a little health problems and stuff like that. And he gets these tapes in the mail of an interview that he did with a vampire in the 70s. And he's asked to come to, gotta redo that thing. We ain't really get the vibe that we needed the first go round. Okay, so he's asked by the vampire Louis de Pointe-Dulac to come to Dubai where he's living to fix it. Okay, because we were both young, you know what I'm saying? The vampire was only a couple hundred years old. Daniel was, the Dauphin. It's all right. Everybody have their little issues, So Daniel goes to Dubai to meet with Louis. Daniel goes to Dubai where Louis is living. He has a servant named Rashid in this penthouse apartment and this really, really expensive high-rise, dwelling in Dubai. Daniel goes in there and I'm telling you, coming hot, baby. Daniel got a funky attitude right out the gate, baby. He is a curmudgeon and he don't have time. I don't have time for no pleasantries, baby. I just got buku questions. Why are you out? It's daytime. Louis, what's going on? Because I know the vampire rules. I mean, we all know the vampire rules. When the sun is up, y'all go down. That's what the rules are. So what you doing outside? Who is this man over here? How you pay for all of this? Why it ain't got no plants in here? Why, he was coming in hot. And that's because Louis jumped his ass last time they met. I can understand holding a grudge, baby. I get that. You trying to kill me last time and I'm coming into your house this time and I ain't got time. Louis tells Daniel that his father at the time of the beginning of this story, which is 1910, has been dead for 5 years and Louis has had to take on the reins of the family. He does have a brother. I think it's an older brother, but the brother is not fit to run like a business. He does suffer with mental illness. And this is 1910, baby. Ain't no medication. They'll just put you someplace. He has a mother and a sister, and the family was wealthy because Louis' grandfather was a free man of color who had a plantation and enslaved his own people. Trash. So his family was wealthy, but his daddy squandered all the money away. And so in order to keep his mother and sister afloat and keep the family, okay, he had to go over there in Storyville. Storyville is a wonderful and rich story of the New Orleans red light district. New Orleans did have legal prostitution for many a moon, only in this small area of New Orleans. And it really wasn't that small. It was like 30 blocks. I'm just saying, it was like hookers and brothels all up and down the street. Now, we still have hookers and brothels all up and down the street. We just mad discreet about it, okay? You pass by some brothels on your walking tour of New Orleans when you come on down. He's a man of ill repute, baby, be in them streets, okay, in Storyville. And so that's how he keeps his people afloat. Now, it is 1910, and so he does have a brothel, but it is in a rundown part of Storyville. It's only for black clientele. It's not high-end at all. He is trying to kind of, better his position. And he's not able to do that because he's black and he's trying to hold everything together. And it's really, really difficult for him. But he does have a woman that he's interested in. She is a sex worker in one of the brothels. And he's really, really interested in her. But she's actually when he goes to see about her, she's talking to a gentleman caller. The gentleman caller is Lestat de Leoncourt. Baby, when we first see Lestat in the show, Lestat is dressed about 150 years back on a fashion timeline. My boy got petticoats and ruffles and all kind of epaulets and stuff. He just looks like I don't know where he came from, child, but obviously it's been a long while since he been on the street. So Louis is very, he in the street, you know what I'm saying? He running the street. So he's not very refined. He's polite when he needs to be. He definitely knows how to switch it up. You know, if he's, you know, dealing with some white people he needs to impress, he gonna code switch. If he over there dealing with the sex workers and the fools and stuff in the street, he knows how to do that. So he's always trying to fit in to make sure that he is able to get what he needs. That, on the other hand, is very refined, baby. Lestat is French and like condescending, baby. Lestat is gonna look down that nose at you. And he was driving my nerves, child. I was about to just pop him on top of his head with an umbrella. You know, I think Louis was very intrigued by this man. Like, who the hell is this in these old ass clothes? But I'm kind of like feeling his vibe. Now, you know, a vampire will vampire hypnosis your ass and you won't even know what the deal is. And you know what I mean? So he does struggle with trying to figure out how to balance keeping the family afloat and then being a good Catholic boy. Now, we Catholic down here, okay? We have all the religions are present, baby. We got everything from Scientology to Buddhism. But most of us are Catholic in New Orleans. And we have the largest population of Black Catholics in this area. I think in the country. I think it's us in Chicago that have the largest population of Black Catholic people. So he's a good Catholic boy, baby. And I'm gonna tell you something about being Catholic. You can't do nothing. Nah, ain't no fun. Baby, what you talking about? That's a sin. You blinking your eyes too fast, that is a sin. Go your ass to confession. Okay? From the moment Louis and Lestat meet each other, Lestat has been playing the hell out of Louis. Like, he been putting that mojo on Louis out, like, right out the gate. Like, Lestat knew he wanted Louis, and Louis' ass was got, baby. He might as well just wrap it on up, just go on home. You know, Louis is trying to, you know, he doesn't know that vampires are a thing. He doesn't know that Lestat is a vampire. He knows something is up because Lestat was talking to him and his mouth wasn't moving. Or his mouth was moving and he was talking to him, but what his mouth was saying wasn't what he was hearing. So he was... All the while in New Orleans, there's a plague and like an illness that's like taking people out. And like nobody knows what's going on, right? These people are like dead and their blood is drained. This is a weak Sazerac. I didn't make a good one. Like, he just is everywhere Louis is, that's where Lestat is. And they starting to build, like, I'm telling you, it's like foreplay. Because Louis goes to this card game with these like aldermen and like the, you know, city commissioner and like all these big wigs in the city, and they're all white and Louis is the only Black man at the table and Lestat is there. Then all of a sudden Louis is taking Lestat to meet his mama and sister at the house. And I'm like, y'all are courting. Babe, I don't know if y'all know it, y'all courting. He doesn't understand specifically what it is, and he really not asking a ton of questions either. I think he just likes the feeling of whatever it is that Lestat brings when they're together. So one good night, Lestat like offers Lily, who is the girl that he was interested in, to Louis. There's a lot of L's. Lestat, Lily, and Louis. That's cute. They are at Lestat's house, which is on Royal Street. Now, baby, Royal Street since always, okay, is like very, very exclusive, honey. It's like $1 million homes, art galleries, like really refined and upscale. I park on Royal, baby, if I ever need to. It's never a need for me to go on Royal. It's too rich for my blood. But that's where Lestat stays. He has a beautiful mansion. Invites Lily over, invites Louis over. They getting ready to have a threesome. Except for the fact that Lestat makes Lily go to sleep. Go to sleep, girl. We don't need you. Now, Louis is gay. He's closeted because obviously it's 1910, child. What you gonna do? He puts Lily to sleep, and then Louis and Lestat start doing their thing. Baby, the chemistry is off the chain. All right. So while Louis and Lestat are getting busy, he takes the little drink en petit coup, okay? And Louis ain't mad at it. He was like, this shit feel good, bro. This is like... I'm feeling okay. I ain't got no questions or comments for you at this current moment. So that's that. He tries to leave that alone. He tries to like break away from that and not listen to Lestat when Lestat is talking to him. He tries to block out that piece of his life altogether and starts to just focus on work and family. So his sister gets married. He and his brother are able to connect because they used to, when they were little, tap dance on the streets for money. And that's very much still happening in New Orleans to this day. People just know how to dance and move and like get money out here. So kids who, you know, need a little extra money, they will go out and put beer cans or like Coke bottles, like 10 cans on the bottom of their shoes and turn them into tap shoes and tap on the street, and people give them money so they can get something to eat and all of that. So that's what they did when they were little. They did a little tap dance for their sister at the wedding, and everything was good. Louis and his brother go on top of the roof of their house and just have like a talk. The sun is coming up and they're having a really great heart to heart. And his brother gets up, walks on the roof, like along the roof line, and jumps smooth off and kills himself. Did Lestat do that? I feel like Lestat did that. I ain't gonna hold you. Because Lestat is not a good vampire. Like, he's not like a vampire I'm gonna invite over to the baby shower and stuff. It's definitely not the baby shower. You gonna eat the baby. And so he's struggling, baby, because he done slept with a man for the first time in 1910. Baby, that's a lot. He is, a man. He's running a house of ill repute. He is drinking, fornicating, stealing, lying, robbing, and shooting. His brother's dead. His mama blames him. His sister upset. Everything falling apart. Why Lestat come roll up to the funeral talking about, what you doing? What y'all got going on? You ready to go? Like, come on with me. Like, come with me. You don't need to be over here. Come with me. Selfish. I understand you a vampire. You old as hell. You don't have no human sensibilities anymore. But goddamn, have some decorum about yourself, Lestat. Good Lord. Lestat is like pressing hard on Louis. Lestat is in his mind. Come on, boy. Louis, I know you hear me. So Louis gets slithered at the brothel and then goes to church because a good Catholic is gonna be, we're gonna feel guilt. All right, that's just the way, that's the Catholic way, baby. We gonna feel some guilt, okay? He goes to the church, he's like, Lord, I got to get some stuff off my chest. So he goes in the confessional with the priest, and the priest is like trying to help him, keep him calm, and Louis lets it rip, baby. He's like, listen, name a sin. I did that thing. I sinned all the sins. Ain't no sin I ain't sinned. Pouring his heart out. And he hears a rumbling. And then next thing you know, the priest is gone. Lestat done bust down the church doors and ate the priest. Damn. I wonder if, like, cause you're a vampire, if like a priest is like a Wagyu beef steak. Lestat is like, boy, listen. You my star. I love you so much. Like, you are the most special thing I ever seen. When I lay eyes on you, did I say, oh my? Lestat was running it, baby. And Louis was like, damn, for real? I mean, listen, what I got to lose? And Louis was like, go ahead, take it, bro. The scene where Lestat turns Louis, bars, fire. And Lestat bites his wrist to open up a vein, and then Louis drinks the vein from the blood from Lestat's vein. So now Louis is a full-fledged vampire, baby. Now we got to start vampire training class. We'll cook in the sun. You want to eat blood, and you have very like little impulse control. So those are bad combinations. Like, listen, you gotta hunt a specific way. You gotta look for people that's alone. Ain't nobody gonna come looking for them. That's uncomfortable for Louis. Louis doesn't like to just be like a sadistic, wild ass feral animal, just hunting people down and chomping on their necks and just throwing them in the bin. Like, he doesn't like that, and so he is wanting to find a different way to satiate himself. So he's like, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and get this little beaver in the creek. I'm gonna get this rat. It ain't gonna taste the same, but it's gonna be like a 100 calorie pack. Lestat uses his influence and his money and his status as a white man to get Louis all he wants. He tricking off, baby. Throw it in a bag. Louis wants to have a brothel and like a establishment, but they won't let him have a building because he's black. They're like, listen, go over there where the black people at. He is able to purchase a building that they turn into the Azalea Hall, very high end, and there are black and white sex workers there. And so they are going into business together as like a couple, because they're a couple now. They are very much in love, and even though it's mad Stockholm Syndrome, baby. Stockholm Syndrome was a cast member in this show. This is the thing though. My poor friend Louis, I felt bad for my boy because he's trying to hold on to being a human and he still wants to have connection with his family. So he goes to see his sister who has twin girls. She's a homemaker, right? And she is like, listen, I gotta go check on my red beans, hold the baby for me. And Louis fought with all his might to not murder that baby in his arms. He was about to bite shit out that baby. I was like, boy, don't you bite that baby. If that baby was so fat and fluffy, I could see how, like, if I'm a vampire, I'm like, this baby juicy. Probably like a little crackling or something, like a little boudin or something. You just pop it in your mouth and just let that be that on that. But it's a baby. You know what I mean? You can't do that to the baby. And so much so that he dropped the baby on the floor and ran the hell out the house. And he ain't come back for like 3 years or something. And Louis got prime property. He has one of the best places to go. Is right by the train station. It's right by the water. People coming in, people going out. Get them a little something strange. Go ahead and go to work. Racist white people ain't gonna let you live now. You already know that off top. So they start to use their power and influence to get Louis out. Like they want to like push him out and then take over his property. So, you know, there's been like a bunch of different ordinances being changed, and, you know, the police are coming to like harass his business and like tearing up all his stuff and arresting his sex workers and just making his life miserable. Okay, so he knows that there is this one alderman in specific, Alderman Frederick, that's been a problem since the beginning. So Louis said, you know what? You're gonna fuck around and find out. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just go ahead and use these vampire powers, what I got them for if I can't use them, huh? And of course he had to fuck around and find out. Louis took all his insides and put them on the outside. And then hung them up on the gate of the St. Louis Cathedral, baby. So the white people in town was like, oh, hell no, you done took one of my boys out. So they start to riot and they burned down all the black establishments in Storyville. Louis understands that his actions are what led to this riot and people dying, babies burning, child, people jumping out the window, is all because he couldn't control himself and he couldn't play the long game. He had to go ahead and rearrange that man's intestines. So he is going around like, Lord, I got to do something. I got to help somebody. So he hears the cry, like the voice of a little girl that's in this building and she's trapped and she can't get out. Busts down the door, rescues her, takes her back to the house with Lestat on Royal Street. So he brings her in the house. He's like, hey, do it. Fix her, save her, bite her, do something, fix her. And Lestat's like, hell no. Take that little girl back outside. I'm not doing that. So Lestat, he bit himself just like he did with Louis and fed Claudia the blood, his blood, right? Turning her into a vampire. But the way that he did it was like, you spoiled. I'll get you this little puppy. It was like he was doing Louis a favor. Like, I'm gonna get you this child during this time. Also, it was very, very cool to see, right? Because Lestat and Louis are like a married couple. It's like when one spouse wants a child and the other one doesn't, it's like, all right, I'm gonna give you, like, let's have a baby, God. And that's how they made Claudia. And Claudia popped up, and Claudia is, but in the novel, she's only 5. But in the show, she's like 14 or 15 in the show, right? And so, of course, she's always gonna be 14 or 15. And she's like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. She's like, shit, what y'all got going on? Y'all got a nice house. This nice. Who are y'all? I forgot to mention also. So Louis finds out that Lestat has like a little side piece. And she's like a jazz singer. Her name is Antoinette. Lestat goes and claps Antoinette cheeks every once in a blue moon. You know, he want a little variety. So just around that same time, Louis' little something strange comes into town. He's a soldier. Came to find Louis, and then Louis' friend gave him some top in the woods. Okay, he gave him a little BJ in the woods. Now, while Lestat was watching Louis get his little rant in the woods, you have no right. You have zero right. All the time we are switching back and forth to present time and in the 1900s, right? So Daniel is talking to Louis, who is Daniel is grilling his ass. Like anytime Daniel has a question, he's like, I call bullshit. I don't believe that. Because if that's the case, then why would you go here and not go there? Like Daniel was grilling his ass. Daniel is given access to Claudia's diaries, where we get a perspective of what it's like to be a baby vampire from Claudia's perspective, right? Now, Claudia is not in this show at all in present time. Question mark. Because where's Claudia? Where you at, Claude? I'm trying to see Claudia, because Claudia wasn't that nice in this show. So now they have to teach Claudia how to be a vampire, right? When Louis was made, he was a full-grown man who had impulse control. Baby, Claudia, whole frontal lobe ain't developed yet. She got zero impulse control. Louis and Claudia have a really special connection, and he basically takes her on as a daughter. And because Lestat loves Louis, he is kind of raising her as a daughter too. And Claudia calls him Daddy Lou and Uncle Les. But she is wild as hell. And they start to like act like a mother and a father with a child. Like, this is your father speaking. Don't you run in this house. So time passes by and Claudia is, now she's 21, baby. She's a woman, but she still looks like a teenager. She's complaining that she's flat-chested and hairless, and she'll go out and hit the streets. And she meets this like young carriage driver named Charlie, and she, obviously Charlie doesn't know that she is a vampire, but she is still a young girl and she wants companionship, right? She's lonely. She don't want to be with her dad, with her two daddies all the time. All they do is fight and fuck. She's trying to do her whole like pretend to be human thing. He takes her out for ice cream and they trying to have like conversation. But meanwhile, Claudia's like, let me get them draws, Charlie. So they have like a little makeout sesh, and because her impulse control is 0 and ends up biting his neck and killing him, okay? So she takes him home to her daddy's and she asks Lestat to turn him into a vampire. But Lestat is like boo-hoo mean about it. He's like, you done killed him already. I can't do shit with this. What you want me to do? He dead already. Ain't nothing I can do. Clean up your mess. And Lestat makes her burn Charlie's body. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Also, something important to mention, when someone makes a vampire, that person who is the maker cannot communicate like through the little with that vampire. So Claudia and Louis are able to with each other, and Lestat can't hear it. Because vampires can hear conversations from like across the globe, child. I could just be like, damn, I'm hungry. And then somebody in Oregon could be like, me too. So this is what happened. Claudia, like a young, wild, feral vampire, has just been leaving the house, just going off, baby. Just murdering people left, right, and center. And she couldn't take them home to burn them in the incinerator because they got a little incinerator in their backyard to cover up the evidence and stuff. So she just went to Chalmette, which is outside New Orleans city limits, and buried the bodies, okay? But before she did that, like a true serial killer, she would take a little memento of each of the people that she killed. She has been completely losing her mind. She cut off people's toes, noses, breasts, lips. She's been holding them in like a little jewelry box at the house, but like spread all over the place. She got people that's half dead in her closet. Louis and Lestat read Claudia's diaries because Claudia was wilding out, okay? And Claudia talked about, the fact that she buried these people in Chalmette. And Louis was like, say, bro, 3 feet. 3 feet, that's all it takes. A bad storm gonna come in, erode all that dirt, and it's gonna be 47 dead people with no titties laying in the grass. And they gonna be looking around trying to figure out what's going on. They're gonna trace that back to us. The constable or the police chief or whoever the hell came to the house and Claudia let him in because Claudia don't give a shit no more. Something is shifty going on over here because they said that they saw that man come in here and that's the last place. So we just gonna take a look around. Crazy. Is like, oh, you know what? I sure do have 17 titties and 32 toes in the room. I need to go try to hide that and try to fix that. Barely get away with having all kind of bodies in the house. So Lestat is like, listen, we gonna have to go. Claudia was like, I'm not going a motherfucking place with you. You do what you need to do. I'm gonna go where I got to go. You be cool. And Claudia leaves. So I think Claudia was gone for like 5 or 7 years, and she experienced another vampire while she was gone during that time. And that vampire, unfortunately, sexually assaulted her. And she had no idea that the vampires that's out in the world, them jokers was ruthless. So after some time, Claudia comes back and Louis is so relieved. He was so worried about her and missed her. And he had been calling to her with a little, you know what I'm saying, for all that time. And she cut her mind off to him. Also during this time, prohibition started. They stopped the prostitution in Storyville, and now it's just like a bunch of like dilapidated houses, and like the neighborhood is not like first class anymore. It's like people like homeless on the streets. And so now Claudia is back and she's like, listen, I'm here to get my daddy. So Lestat, you be cool how you be cool, and we just gonna go ahead and go. But that really, really pisses Lestat off because what you're not gonna do is try to remove an abused person away from their abuser. And baby, Lestat tried to attack Claudia, not on Louis' watch. Louis and Lestat have the fight of all fights, baby. They shook the foundation on the house. They done tore up all the banisters. They jumping up and down the stairs. And Lestat is obviously stronger than Louis because he's older and more experienced, right? Why whole time Lestat can fly, bro? Lestat take Louis 747 feet above the clouds, child, And it's like, I loved you. And all I gave her to you as like, I would do anything for you. She ruined our lives. I want to be with you. I love you. All you got to do is say you love me back. You rejected me. You never felt the same way I felt. Like the monologue was flames. Chef's kiss. It was so good. And I'm like, bro, don't declare your love for me. You holding me by my neck. And then Louis was like, let me go, bro. I don't want to do this anymore. And Lestat was like, say less. And he dropped Louis. He dropped Louis. And Louis is on the ground looking like a rag doll, baby. His right leg going left and his left leg going center. So my girl Claudia is nursing her daddy back to health. He is blind in one eye. All his bones are broken. She's like a rehab nurse. She's like helping him to learn how to walk again, helping him to learn how to hunt and eat. But sure enough, they get a knock at the door. Who do you think it is? Lestat. With like a coat or some shit. I don't know. He brought like a gift for Louis. But Claudia answered the door. And Claudia was like, get the hell off my doorstep before I come unglued. Louis and Claudia trying to move on with their lives. And they outside walking. And then here come Lestat pull up in a brand new custom-made Rolls Royce. And he's like, I'm giving it to you. And Louis was like, I kind of do want to go back though. I ain't gonna lie. Like I kind of do. Like I definitely know he broke my spine in 3 places. I kind of want to go back though. So they were so mad at each other, but they missed each other so much and loved each other so much that they just got it on. So Louis comes back with Lestat. And Claudia is like, oh, hell no. So Louis is like, we have to figure out a way to make this work. It's not going to be on some Daddy Lou, Uncle Les. I'm going to be y'all's sister. I'm not going to be your daughter no more. Because at this point, I'm 47 years old. Claudia is trying to do her best to tolerate Lestat. Y'all go ahead and be together. Y'all do y'all married couple thing. I'm going to just go ahead and go to school someplace in like the Middle East somewhere, child. I'm about to go. And Louis is devastated again. So Claudia sneaks on the train and she's trying to get up out of Dodge. Baby Lestat opened that door and was like, girl, where you about to go? I know you trying to leave and I know you don't really get down with me. I don't really get down with you. It's not about us. It's about Louis. He needs me. He needs you. You gonna have to come back. So he makes her come back. And so now they both like trapped. They both prisoners now. So Claudia get back to the house and immediately is like, you know what, Louis? He got to die. It ain't no way to get around it. He gonna have to go. And Louis is like, you know what? You right. Around this time in the show, it's about to be Mardi Gras. All right, so things are kind of on the upturn again. Like when they were at their lowest and Claudia was gone and they was in the house and they ain't brushed their teeth and washed their ass, that was during the Depression. But now we on the uptick again. Claudia and Louis concoct a plan and they are gonna kill Lestat. And I'm like, baby, let's get to it. In this recap, I'm focusing a lot on what was happening in the 1900s and not so much on what was happening in 2022. But baby, let me tell you what was happening in 2022. Daniel and Louis, baby, butt heads. And I thought it was so interesting to see how Jacob Anderson played 1900s Louis and 2022 Louis. Because 1900s Louis was like, you know, he was in the streets. He had a New Orleans accent. He was trying to do his thing. But 2022 Louis is very refined, baby. Very refined. Sits down like a delicate lady. His nails look just like mine. And Rashid is there the entire time. So Rashid is like his servant. And he is speaking to him like a servant. He's like, get Daniel's room ready. He's done for the day. Rashid he also has this like, I need to protect Louis. Like, that's enough for the day. He's resting today. I think that's enough. You need to eat. And so Rashid is letting Louis feed off of him as well. So Daniel Malloy, the reporter, is always questioning whether or not Louis is telling the truth, whether or not he's exaggerating, elaborating, trying to protect Lestat, because Louis definitely will try to protect Lestat. Like, Daniel understands that this relationship is not simpatico, baby. This is inappropriate, Stockholm, no boundaries, shouldn't have never happened. And Daniel be lighting Louis up. And Louis be giving it back to him, but in a very refined way. But I'm choosing to focus on the past because that's where all the tea at, okay? They've been in New Orleans the whole time, all right? People been aging like spoiled milk, baby, because they've been out here in the streets partying. Louis and Lestat just been walking up and down the street looking like the same way that they have been since 1909 or whatever the hell. So people starting to be like, something ain't right. One of the people that Louis was in business with when he was running his brothel has now climbed up the ranks, is now like a U.S. senator. Hey, you know what? This is a picture of me and you and Lestat in 1910. And y'all look exactly the same. What's T? Lestat uses his influence and money to make himself the king of Mardi Gras. They are gonna have a ball. So Louis and Claudia concoct a plan. They're going to poison somebody at the ball, right? And then they're gonna have Lestat feed off that person. So Claudia, Lestat, and Louis have given flowers to specific people who are gonna get to know what the secret to the Fountain of Youth is that they have, right? So the ball is popping. They do a dance, okay? Louis and Lestat dance together. These are two gay men in the 30s, baby. They out front and center with makeup on, wigs, dancing together, very much in love, doing spins and do-si-dos, baby. Everybody was like, I can't believe. So the party is over, and all the little influential people that they gave the flowers to are at the after party, right? They about to get the Fountain of Youth. That's when Lestat and Claudia and Louis pounce on their asses. They take everybody out. And Lestat lets it drop that he knows that Claudia and Louis were trying to kill him, because whole time he had a little spy vampire spying on Louis and Claudia. But Claudia, baby, say, ah, yeah. Right? Lestat thought it was sweet. Lestat thought that Claudia had given the opiates and the drugs to somebody else. Whole time she gave the opiates and the drugs to that state representative or whatever that clocked that they weren't aging. So when it was time to feed on all the important people, Lestat went and got his ass first. Claudia knew that he would, because Lestat is petty like that. And whole time he was full of, opiates and all kind of stuff, right? And that's taking Lestat ass down. And Lestat is on the ground, and Louis slices Lestat across his throat. And it was really cool the way they did it, because the way that he was telling Daniel that it happened was very much like, I just slit his throat and laid him on the ground and was like, oh damn, they RIP to a real one. Daniel called bullshit. Daniel was like, ain't no way that you just did it that easy and you didn't respond. So Louis and Claudia had to burn all the bodies in the incinerator, but they did not burn Lestat, because Louis couldn't bring himself to do it. Instead of burning him, they put him in a trunk and put him out by the corner and let the garbage people take him to the dump. And once again, going back to 2022, Daniel called bullshit. Daniel was like, you think I'm stupid, huh? The man that said he ate rats, possums, baby raccoons, leave him in a dump that's full of rats, knowing damn well he could sustain himself off of rats enough to be well and get better and go on out and do what he needs to do. And when it was getting hot between Louis and Daniel in 2022, Rashid was like, you know what? Enough of that shit. Whole time, Rashid is not the servant. Rashid is an old vampire named Armand. I'm not about to play this game no more. Took the contacts out, started flying, baby. He was like, let me go ahead and get you this book. All right, Daniel. And you go ahead and read this book and you can get the clear understanding. And I was like, yo. Because Rashid was there when Daniel and Louis met the first time in the 70s. When did Rashid enter the chat is what I guess I'm trying to figure out. But the real question is, where's Claudia? Okay, Claudia Marie, come to the front of the congregation. The last time we saw her and Louis were driving to the docks, baby. They was getting on the ship going to Europe. Okay, that's where the episode ends. I cannot wait for season 2. This was an excellent show. It was very well written. I love Jacob Anderson's accent. I know, like, so many people have tried to do a New Orleans accent and have failed miserably. But baby, Jacob, give me a ring a ding ding. Sam Reed did his thing as Lestat, baby. I was like, is this dude really French? Because he was nailing that French accent, baby. He's not. He's British. Everybody British. And then if Lestat not dead and he was at a rat smorgasbord in a dump, where the hell is Lestat at though? Comment down below and let me know what you thought of season 1 of Interview with the Vampire. Do you think I should give Jacob Anderson a ring a ding ding? Let me know. Okay, y'all. Bye.